Just when we thought PDP was receiving healing gradually from the crisis that have bedeviled the party since the 2023 general election, the fresh Supreme Court judgment reinstating Anyanwu as the National Secretary of the party seemed to have deepened the crisis rocking the PDP. After the Supreme Court judgment, lots of controversies have emanated. While some of the party's members believe that the Supreme Court judgment reinstated Anyanwu as the valid and authentic National Secretary of the PDP, others argued that the Supreme Court judgment did not reinstate Anyanwu as the National Secretary, that there was nowhere in the judgment of the Supreme Court where it mentioned or recommended that Anyanwu be reinstated as a National Secretary of the party.
Joining us now on this show is Sowunmi, PDP chieftain and former spokesperson for the Atiku Abubakar campaign organization. Good morning, Sowunmi, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, Ruben. How are you doing? How's everybody in the Lagos end? I'm here.
Good morning.
It's nice to be with you guys.
Very good. Well, is the matter?
Man, how are you?
Is the matter settled?
Ayo, how are you?
Oh, well, thanks. Good morning.
Is the matter settled? As Debo Olugunagba
Dr. Abati.
claimed.
No, thank you very
Anyanwu
much.
and Sunday Okoye.
No. Before I go to the Olugunagba talk comment, let me say that, if nothing, one of the reasons why it's good to go to court is that by going to court, you develop the jurisprudence of your country. And the court can help weigh in on the positions based on the extant law, your constitution, and that of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I sat through that judgment in court. I was not only interested in what the judgment would be per se, I was interested in how the judgment would be laid. Now, the judgment, the hard copy of it, the certified copy of it is not ready yet. I know for a fact that the NWC of our party has not sat to consider the judgment. I know for a fact that our national legal advisor is not yet in possession of the judgment. I wonder where and why one member of the NWC, however his position, will now take the tyranny of our handle and then begin to impugn his own private interpretation to a judgment that is, the hard copy is not even out. So I would beg the media with profound respect to disregard whatever it is that Olugunagba is saying for now. I'm not saying he's not a publicity secretary. I'm saying that any political party does not have the imagination that one officer, especially a publicity secretary, represents the totality of the BOT, of the Governors Forum, of the NWC when they haven't met and made any pronouncement. A publicity secretary of a party, so to speak, is the vuvuzela of the party only when they have considered and taken a position. That said, the court said many things which you have alluded to, and I don't want to waste time on that. The court said it is your internal affairs, but in its lead judgment, it agreed with the prayers of the man who went to complete his Anyanwu. And for the record, Section 47(5) of our Constitution says, any officer elected into the executive committee of the party at any level may resign, not shall, his or her office by giving 30 days notice. Now, those who cleared Anyanwu for the governorship election in Imo were aware of this provision, hence they did not stop him. Now, you cannot now rob a man of the privileges you have granted him ab initio. It does not mean that the party does not have the capacity to decide. But what I am saying, and what I wish to say clearly, per the decision of the Supreme Court today, Anyanwu is the National Secretary of the party. If the NWC considers the judgment, and then now that they've been given powers that it's your internal affairs, and do something else, then when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. I think that for the sanity of the nation, especially for the integrity of the party, including all of the issues they are dealing with, it is totally wrong, and I state it and call it wrong, that one member of the NWC would jump the gun and not wait for the others before taking a position. However, he may think his position is right. You can do a right thing in a wrong way. And in this instance, he's wrong in fact, he's wrong per the law, he's wrong per the status of the party. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sowunmi. Are you not doing the same thing that you're accusing Mr. Lugwangba of doing in terms of an early announcement of the position of the Supreme Court without citing the CTC?
No, I only said...
Because you're saying that by the judgment...
Yeah, I was in court.
Okay, yeah, but you're saying, yeah, but we haven't seen the CTC either. So
And
you're also making a proclamation of Senator Anyanwu.
No, Ayo, with due respect.
Go on.
You need the certified true copy to read it. I don't need a certified true copy to tell me what I heard. The judge said this appeal succeeds.
Okay, so
and
going
if
back to my
appeal
question...
succeeds, what does that mean?
Going back to my question, is it not the same thing when the National Working Committee or the leadership of the PDP...
No, it's not.
Hold on. When the leadership haven't made an announcement as a body, and you're coming out already preempting what their response would be to the ruling of the Supreme Court. It's exactly the same thing. It's just maybe slightly different.
Ayo, don't be tedious. Don't be
please
tedious.
Answer my question. Thank you.
The court said, don't be tedious, please. I said, the court said his appeal succeeds. I also affirmed that the court said, PDP, it's your internal affairs.
Mr. Sowunmi.
If his appeal succeeds and the relief he sought is granted, don't worry, our party will take a decision in future.
Exactly. Are you not preempting the decision?
I'm not taking that decision for them.
But you're coming on national TV to say it. You're coming on national TV to say it because you just accused...
You invited me,
yes,
Ayo.
what I'm saying is based on...
Can you calm down?
Yeah.
When a question is posed to you, you respond to the
Ayo
question.
should calm down, doctor.
No.
Put her on a leash.
No. You should calm down. You don't need to raise your voice. Please, just calm down.
No, she should calm down.
Right.
No, please.
I'm not raising my voice.
No, this is a very responsible platform. Please, just calm down.
I am a very, very responsible person, and you know that.
I asked you a question.
I have answered you. You are forcing your narrative on me.
I don't have a narrative. I asked you a question based on your response to the first question.
Thank you.
So
I've answered you.
All I want is an answer. And so finally, just to make it clear, are you saying that you're not preempting the decision of the PDP leadership by coming out to state what you heard in court? All right. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sowunmi, I just want to understand.
Yes, Rufy, how are you?
Very well, sir.
Thank you.
As lay as possible. Because after that judgment, what happened was that we saw Anyanwu go to the PDP secretariat, and in fact, the song probably ensued. I'm exaggerating anyway. The Lord has done it finally. Finally. The Lord has done it. And there were pictures that he had resumed the position. But the judgment is something we want to know. Have you gotten the CTC as we speak?
Exactly.
What is in the judgment? What's the interpretation of the judgment?
Ruben.
Please, can you just go ahead?
Thank you very much, Ruben. You see,
this is
I
Rufai
went
here.
to court that day because I was really interested. Yeah, sorry, Rufai. Yeah. Forgive me, Egmont Ruben. I went to court that day because I said I was not only interested in the judgment, who was right or who was wrong. You see, material. I wanted to hear how it will be laid. And if you see, I'm saying, don't impugn what is not there. The court said, I listened, and I'm not daft, that the appeal succeeds and the relief sought by Anyanwu are granted. If Anyanwu is celebrating that relief, it is correct to do so. The court then gave us another window by saying that, oh, parties, we are under a lot of constraint to take decision in the best interest based on the fact before us. The learned judge quoted Nikki Toby copiously and said that notwithstanding how society feels, society must not lose faith in the fact that the judiciary gives judgment in its best interest and the knowledge available, and that they understand this responsibility. And then I said, why couldn't, especially someone that is an official member of the NWC, just wait for his colleagues? You see, people like me who are happy that the judgment is here, we're not so happy because he said it is A or B. But because PDP just dodged a bullet, imagine if we had gone on to do all our processes. And then sometimes down the line, the Supreme Court had now said, we built something on nothing. Would that not be a fait accompli like what happened in Zamfara? Or what happened under the judgment of Omotosho in Rivers when Wike was going for a second term? Now, what we're now saying is that they've laid that judgment. They've also given you an escape. They've said it is your internal affairs. Don't put the cat before the horse.
Okay. So with due respect, sir, as of today, Monday, 24th March 2025, 9:22 a.m. and 05 seconds, who is the secretary of the PDP, the national secretary?
In my opinion, not taking over the duties of the Governors Forum, the BOT, or the NWC, in my opinion and my understanding of that judgment, Samuel Nnemeka Anyanwu is the secretary, period.
Okay, I would like to ask you, now...
Thank you.
Now, some people have been saying that the main problem with this party is Nyesom Wike. The Concerned Professionals Group, CPPDP, a think tank within the PDP, they are saying that the PDP should resolve this matter by expelling Nyesom Wike from the party, who has proven himself to be a mercenary in the APC and who has even shown disloyalty openly to the PDP, not once, not twice. He even says that the headquarters of PDP is an illegal structure. What do you say to that? And will it not be a better approach to go back to the same Supreme Court, since there is a confusion now about who is the legitimate national secretary and whether it is the party that should determine, to go back to the same Supreme Court for a proper declaratory interpretation, regardless of the Supreme Court saying, let the party go and solve its power.
On the second part of your comment, which is the declaratory interpretation of the judgment, I trust them. When they get the certified true copy and the legal advisor studies it, if there's any ambiguity as per interpretation, they will do that. So that will be rested. On the one you said about this on Wike and what people say, Dr. Abati, I want to remind you of our situation in Ogun when you became our deputy governorship candidate. Oftentimes than not, if you recall, it was the candidacy that produced yourself and then Senator Buriji Kashamu of blessed memory. One of the main pains of us that believe in the law and the rule of law is that people take an emotional position and they insist that their emotional position must be correct. I am not holding brief for anybody. I am not saying if the disciplinary committee of the party wishes or have the gravitas or even have the guts or the courage to expel anybody. I'm not saying it's not their right to do. What I am discussing and what I want to say is this. Imagine at that time when they sat down in Wadata, notwithstanding the court orders that was a legitimate court order that said yourself and Buriji were our candidates, and they would not just listen to the position of the law. We didn't stop. We continued to act, and the court validated us in the long run. I have gone through, I've been in this party since 98. I have seen them call somebody their Messiah today, come back tomorrow and say he's their devil, come back the next day and say he's their Messiah. I have always been on the straight and narrow path, which is that stability of political party is key. On the Nyesom Wike matter, I am persuaded that the party, when they got a notice that he has been invited to join a government of national unity, they gave him approval at the state. They gave him approval at his zone. The letter got to the NWC, they kept quiet. I have asked myself over and over, oh, Segun, shall he now be guilty of something they gave him permission to do? I don't agree with everything he's doing. I don't agree that he is not a bit too strong for everybody, but I am not able to not see the facts, and I don't really care much. Whatever they decide that is the position. For me and for the benefit of you and I who have been one-time PDP people, including you being a spokesman of a PDP president, our interest must be the stability of the party. Whatever we have lost president, the party did not die. We lost Obasanjo, the party did not die. Yar'Adua died, the party will not die. Why would we be thinking that the best thing to say now is that we will not even apply our own laws? I did not choose that NWC for them. The couple did by themselves. But they must have the discipline to wait out their tenure. If we can change them now, all well and good. If we cannot change them, we'll wait until the next convention, learn from our mistake, and put together a proper organization and people that are fit for the purpose. But we cannot be saying that our intention is, if we are angry with somebody, then we have to hate the person. Or even if we hate him, we're not going to be able to listen to what he's saying, whether there is a point there. And even if we don't listen to what he's saying, are we not going to say that we don't even agree, that when we finally burden the court with our issues and they give a pronouncement, we won't even agree? The court has given us a lot of leeway. We can go back tomorrow and say, oh, this man, we don't want you in our NWC. There's nowhere else for them to go. But you have to accept the judgment as a first step so that you don't fall into contempt of court. Then you can then do the powers that has been returned back to you. That's how decent people think.
Okay, thank you very much, Sowunmi, former spokesman for the Atiku Abubakar presidential campaign.